Let me start with an uncomfortable truth about building serious wealth. Reaching the financial top 1% doesn't require genius IQ. It doesn't require some secret formula or insider knowledge, a math degree. The steps are genuinely public. The math is simply enough to fit on a napkin. The blueprint is sitting right there, free, available to almost anyone. Yet, the number of people who actually follow it says remarkably stubbornly small. So sit that for a second, because it's strange. If the instructions are free and the math is easy, why doesn't everyone just do it? Well, the answer is the thing I want to talk about today. There's a gap, a chasm really, between understanding a financial strategy in your head and actually executing it with your hands. And knowing the recipe is not the same as cooking the meal. Owning a map is not the same as working the role. I call the action gap. And here's the wild part. Consistently doing this simple thing is rarer than almost any statistics in personal finance would ever suggest. The knowledge is common, the action though is precious. So today we're going to do something different. We're not just going to add to your knowledge, because as you will see by the end, knowledge alone has never made anyone a single dollar. We're going to look at exactly why smart, capable people freeze, the 3 specific psychological hurdles that stop them, and the concrete move that gets you over each one. Quick things before we dive in though. If this is landing for you already, do me a favor and hit the like button. And subscribe if you want more plain English money breakdown like this one. It's the easiest way to help this reach the next person who needs to hear it. And it costs you nothing. Okay. Now, let's talk about what's really at stake. Before we get to the orders, you need to feel the cost of not acting. And to do that, I need to show you a number with one important caveat first. For all the examples today, I'm going to use a 10% annual return. That's roughly the long-run historical average of the broad US stock market over many decades. But it's not a promise, and it's not what you're guaranteed to get. Real returns bounce around wildly year to year. That figure is before inflation and fees, and past performances never guarantees future results. And also, this is general education, not personal financial advice. I'm using it purely to illustrate a principle, and the principle is this: time matters more than almost anything else. So picture 2 people. The first started investing for the month at the age of 25 and keeps it up until at that historical average rate, they'll end up with somewhere around $3.16 million. Now the second person does the exact same thing, $500 a month, same rate, but they start just 10 years later at 35. Same discipline, same amount for 3 years instead of 40. Their ending number around $1.13 million. Look at that gap. A 10-year delay didn't cost them a little. It cost them roughly $2 million. And here's the part that should stop you cold. The money they actually failed to contribute in that decade was $500 a month for 10 years, which is $60,000. So $60,000 in missed contribution turned into a $2 million hole. That entire difference wasn't missed savings, it was missed compounded. The growth on the growth on the growth that they never give time to happen. There's an old line that fits perfectly here. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Guess what the second best time is? Today. No amount of clever knowledge you picked up during the last decade is worth $2 million. Waiting often feels like being responsible. It looks like preparation, but in practice, it quietly digs a financial hole that most people never climb back out, no matter how much they learn later. So with those stakes in mind, let's look at the 3 things that make us wait, because they're not about money at all. They are psychological. So the first order is perfectionism. And I know that sounds like a strange thing to blame for someone being broke, but stay with me because it's sneaky. We have this deep natural instinct to wait for perfect condition before we start anything that feels high stake. We want total clarity first. We want all the lights to be green, the money. And with money, that shows up as very reasonable sounding delays. I'll start investing once I've paid off this for a last step. I'll wait until I've saved up a proper lump sum, so it feels worth it. I'll begin once I really understand it. Here's the trap. Picture someone Let's call her Maya. Maya is 29. She's read the books. She's got a spreadsheet. She genuinely understands this stuff. But she decides she'll start investing once she's cleared the last slice of her student loan and a clean, tidy sum to begin with. Sounds sensible, right? Except 3 years later, Maya is still waiting. There was always one more thing to tidy up first. And in those 3 years, the one resource she can never buy back, time, just quietly drains away. A knowledge was perfect, a action zero. Well, the fix is almost aggressively simple. Just start before you feel ready. Begin with a small automatic contribution into a broad, low-cost index fund today and refine the process later. Waiting for the perfect entry point is a losing game because the math rewards time in the market, not perfect timing of the market. An imperfect start today beats a flawless start that never actually arrives. Now, perfectionism has to take a second form too. Once people do the same "I must do this perfectly" instant morphs into the urge to act the winning stock, to beat the market, to be clever. But here's what the data broadly shows. It is humbling. The large majority of professional fund managers, people with entire teams, powerful software, and full-time focus, still under a simple low-cost index fund over a long stretch of time. If the pros mostly can't beat the boring option, then you'll do it by tinkering in your spare time and not get. So the move for a regular investor is genuinely free. Buy a diversified, low-cost index fund, automate the contribution so you never have to decide. Reinvest the dividends, and then this is the hard part. Stop checking the account. Consistent execution of a boring, simple strategy tends to beat a delayed perfect one every single time. Done beats perfect. It's not even close. The second order is the one most people have never even heard named. And once you see, you spot it everywhere. It's future self blindness. It's our strange inability to accurately picture on future selves. What we will want, how we will behave, where we'll be vulnerable. On some level, your future self feels like a stranger. And it's really hard to sacrifice for a stranger. The clearest place this shows up is lifestyle inflation. Every time your income goes up, there's a gravitational pull for your spending to rise right along it. A slightly nice car, a slightly nicer apartment. In the moment each upgrade feels completely justified, you earn it. Or stretch that across an entire career. And those creeping upwards quietly swallow the majority of everything you've ever had. You look up decades later and wonder where it all went. And so here's the fix. It's a beautiful piece of psychology. The pre-commitment rule. You make the decision before the temptation ever arrives. Specifically, you decide in advance exactly how you split any future risk. The percentage of lifestyle, the percentage straight to savings and investing before money ever hits your account. Think of it like setting the gym close out the night before. You're removing the decision from the weak, tempted, in-the-moment version of you, handling it to the calm version who's thinking straight right now. And you apply that exact same rule to windfalls, bonuses, tax reforms, unexpected money. Because here's what actually happens to a windfall. A $10,000 bonus lands, and within a few weeks it is simply evaporated into nicer dinner and stuff you wouldn't remember. But that same $10,000, invested at a historical average for 25 years, could grow to somewhere same money, two completely different future. The only difference is whether you decide what to do with it before you felt it in your hands. Future self-blindness has another expensive form, and is one people almost never talk about: how we protect against risk. Think about it. Most people carry life insurance. They plan carefully for the version of the future where they die. But during your actual working years, you are statistically a good deal more likely to face a stretch where you can't work due to illness or injury than you are to die. And yet, the protection for that, long-term disability coverage, which commonly replaces something like 60% of your income, is the one most people leave completely unaddressed, often until they're no longer eligible for a reasonable rate. I'm not here to sell you a policy. This is just about understanding a blind spot. The lesson underneath all of it is the same. Relying on willpower and good intention is a losing strategy. Lasting wealth comes from engineering a system that quietly make the right decision for you automatically. So your future self is protected whether or not you remember to think about it. The third and final order is, for a lot of people, the hardest of all, because it doesn't feel like a money problem at all. It's a social friction. It's our deep fear of appearing difficult, greedy, and ungrateful in the front of other people. And we will sacrifice a staggering amount of money just to avoid a few minutes of social discomfort. The sharpest example is salary negotiation. Surveys suggest that a heat share of workers more than half simply never negotiate the pay. And very often, it's the dodge 15 minutes of awkwardness. Just 15 minutes. But that avoidance is one of the most expensive decisions a person can quietly make. Here's why. Say you negotiate and add to your salary. That doesn't just help you this year. It resets your baseline. Every future raise, every future bonus tends to be calculated from that new higher number. It compounds through your whole career. And if you invested just that $5,000 a year at a historical average rate over 30 years, that's an illustration that lands somewhere around $820,000. Okay? From one slightly uncomfortable conversation, was 15 minutes of awkward really worth it? And the same avoidance shows up in your professional network. You see, most people only ever reach out to other they need something during a desperate job on or right after the project falls apart. And those messages feel transactional because they are. Everyone can feel it. The alternative is genuinely powerful. Be genuine relationships consistently in good times. When you don't need anything at all. Relationships maintained patiently over the years tend to produce opportunity on their own, organically without last minute act in desperation. It even reaches into your personal life. You see, sitting down with a partner to actually talk through money or with an aging parent about their plans and wishes is deeply uncomfortable. So we dodge it for years. But those conversations are what turns our vague, anxious fog into a clear picture. And clarity, seeing your real situation honestly, is the absolute prerequisite for making any good decision about it. Avoiding that discomfort feels safe, but it's a luxury that quietly costs people decades of problems. So let's put all this together, because notice the thread running through all three: perfectionism, future self-blindness, and social friction. None of them is really about lack of knowledge. Every single one is about willingness or an unwillingness to sit inside a moment of discomfort. That, more than any spreadsheet, is the real defining trait of the people who make it. You're simply willing to endure the brief friction that everyone else runs through. And I want you to really hear how brief it is. Making the phone call, setting up the automatic transfer, asking for insurance code, sending a message you've been putting off. The discomfort of each of those lasts, what? A few minutes? Maybe an afternoon. The compounding payoff of those tiny actions is permanent. Minutes of awkwardness in exchange for years of freedom. That's the trade on the table. So here's the honest and slightly uncomfortable truth about this very video. You see, watching it has only increased your knowledge, and I need you to understand that has done precisely nothing for your net worth. Nothing. Knowledge was never the missing piece. It was never the thing standing between and the life you want to lead. So don't let this be one more thing you watch. Not at a lot to felt good about and forgot tomorrow. Instead, do this. Look back at the most we talked about and pick the single one that causes you the most discomfort right now. Not the easiest one, the one that makes you flinch a little, because that flinch is the exact spot where your growth is hiding. And then go execute today, not next week, today. Stop consuming advice. Close the gap. Move. Do something. And I'll see you in the next one.